Time, blew it.
That's the starting lineup, 36 strong. Let's go trackside, and Joe Cost to fire them up.
Thank you very much, Kyle Rickey. And now for the command to fire engines, the moment that we've all been waiting for here on Modified Mania Weekend. From Sunoco Race Fuels, the Sunoco Race Fuels office manager wearing a blue shirt today, Linda Davis, and also with us, Colleen Fennelson, the New England Race Fuels office manager. Ladies?
Drivers, start your engines!
So what a spectacular way to get the festivities started today for the Whelen Modified Tour 150, presented by New England Racing Fuels. Kirk Bastian. I think everybody got a little teary-eyed, Russ, when they saw him come down and get us officially underway today, and then a great orchestration for Gentlemen Start Your Engines, or Drivers Start Your Engines, and we are ready to go to work.
Indeed we are, and there's no question about it. There's something that's very emotional anytime you see the stars and stripes like that, but especially on the eve of the 5th anniversary of September 11th, 2001. And gives us all time to reflect on just how fortunate we are to be here today to watch this great Modified Mania weekend, and to thank the good Lord for the blessings bestowed upon this country.
How do you practice to do something like that? That was spectacular.
Well, he's done it literally hundreds and hundreds of times, and yet each time, he said, is a whole new adventure.
Well, we're going to have a whole new adventure today. The 12th race of the season for the Whelen Modified Tour. The driver of car number 16, Mike Stefanik, starts today with a 35-point lead over Ted Christopher. Tony Hirschman in third in the standings, followed by Eddie Flemke, and then a rookie, James Savali, is 5th in the point chase. So this is a very pivotal race, because after this one, there's only 4 races remaining on the schedule. Every lap, I guess every turn, is going to be very vital today if a driver wants to win the championship.
And you know, Matt, the interesting thing is more Modified Tour races have been run at this speedway than any other. And yet, out of all of the active drivers, those that have won are relatively few. Mike Stefanik, Rick Fuller, Tony Hirschman, TC, the Reg, Jerry Marquis, Ed Flemke Jr., Charlie Pastriak, John Blewett III, Chuck Hosfeld, and Todd Zegedy. That's it.
That's a pretty exclusive list.
It sure is. All right, tell you what, Joe is on pit road in the infield. Let's go down for a quick pre-race report. Joe?
Well, thank you very much, Russ, as we get ready to go 150 laps on the Whelen Modified Tour here this afternoon. One of the things that makes this race a little bit different than what we've seen in the past is the fact that today we'll race in conditions that were similar to what we practiced in yesterday afternoon. Normally we race at night after been practicing all day in the heat, but today that'll make the competition very close, as conditions will be very similar. I'll keep you up to date on everything that's happening down here on pit road through the 150 lap distance.
So Ronnie Silk leading the field around in car number 19, and he might be the perfect driver to be on the pole. He has a perfect temperament. What did he do yesterday after he qualified in the top 10? He went to the driving range and hit golf balls for a couple hours. So Ronnie Silk, a very relaxed driver, the godchild of a 2-time Busch Series champion, Randy LaJoie. He'll be starting on the inside, and Matt Hirschman to the outside of him. And Matt has not had good success at Thompson this year. In 3 races, his best finish has been 26. So Matt Hirschman maybe wants a little bit of a redemption here at the Big T, because he has not had much success in 2006.
And what a shadow he is behind with his dad. All right, this is it. Let's send them off. How about a big Thompson Speedway wave to the drivers of the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Next time they come by, they will be at full song, as the green flag will be displayed when they come off of turn number 4 by Chief Starter Bob Slade. A nice wave from the Thompson Speedway fans.
Another sight that puts a lump in your throat, Russ, is we're off to a a great start, and we haven't even thrown the green flag yet.
Oh, I know. The goosebumps are here already. Matt, we are set to go. Ronnie Silk, Matt Hirschman. They make up the front row as they find themselves behind the Dodge pace car. All lights are out. That means we are set to go. 150 laps. Modified Mania Weekend, presented by Sunoco. The marquee event about to get underway. The Modifieds from the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour are off and running.
And running very quickly, Matt Hirschman trying to get the jump on Ronnie Silk, and he is going to get the job done.
Indeed he does. Off of turn number 2, it's the 59 car that will lead them down the back straightaway. We've got a little shuffle in the back of the pack, and we may be forced to go to yellow. Yes, we are.
Jim Storrs in car number 47, bringing out the gold.
And kind of a tough start for the Modified Tour, but Jim does refire the car.
Well, Jimmy, that used to be an orange car, and he decided to change the paint scheme.
Back into the thick of things. All right, here we go again. Pace car on pit road, side by side, Silk and Hirschman. Here they come, down to the line. On the inside, it is Hirschman. Silk up on the outside. Green flag is out. Once again, Hirschman will lead them into turn number 1.
Well, you can make this statement already. Hirschman's car very good on restarts. Ronnie Silk overpowers and overwhelms Tony Ferrani to move into second.
Indeed he does, and the other Hirschman sits back there in position number 4 in the 48 car. That's Tony Hirschman. Tony, of course, no stranger to victory lane and no stranger to championships, as he has been one of the key players on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour for the last decade. Slowly but surely, we begin to sort this thing out. Interestingly enough, Old Blue, car number 3, with Eric Beers on board, and Mike Stefanik in the 16, both of them have kind of lost positions as they got out of line, got down low, and now they're struggling to get back into line.
And it was a pretty aggressive move by Ronnie Uhas to move into 5th, and trailing him, Reggie Ruggiero and Jerry Marquis also in the neighborhood. So Eric Beers struggling on the bottom, and now Stefanik is able to wave goodbye.
All right, Beers is able to get up in line, and now all will be well until we get back to the number 2 car of Todd Zegedy, as he finds himself to the inside, but it looks like he's doing that in order to try to gain a position. Meanwhile, we're back to the stripe with car number 59, the Northampton, Pennsylvania driver, second-generation driver, in fact, Matt Hirschman, out in front leading this 150-lap feature event for the NASCAR Whelen Modifieds.
Sometimes it's all in the setup. Apparently Todd Zegedy's car is set up to run the bottom, and Eric Beers' car was not, as he settles in behind Stefanik and in front of Tommy Bowles in car number 76. Tommy Bowles, a strong 4th place finish the last time we were at Thompson.
James Savali was also running a little bit low, the just incredible rookie on the tour this year. He was able to work his way back up and get in line and finds himself just in front of Zach Sylvester. It's a long way, 150 laps, and of course one of the things that makes this race so interesting is the fact that pit strategy will play a very large role. And we've seen it time and time again, and yet no one has managed to find the exact key that unlocks the gate to victory lane, because in some cases, Matt, we've had winners that have pitted early, and in other cases we've had winners that have pitted late.
And a little problem for Ronnie Silk as he got low on the racetrack, and Tony Ferrani was able to tap dance around him to infiltrate second place. So a little bobble perhaps by Silk, and it cost him 1 position.
Tony Ferrante has had some great runs here at the Thompson Speedway. He has come ever so close to taking down a win, and yet it has eluded him. Today might be his day as he finds himself glued to the rear bumper of Matt Hirschman as they come back down to complete lap number 13.
Well, one thing, his engine is fresh. This is only his 3rd race of the year. He competed at Thompson earlier and finished 34th, but for a good portion of that race, he was up among the upper echelon of cars. So Tony Ferrante now dive bombs his way off the 4th corner, but he's not quick enough to corral Matt Hirschman.
Tony had announced at the end of the season last year that he was going to run just a very few selected events this year, and we've been thrilled to have him back here because he's has been a fan favorite for many, many years. And right now, I'll tell you, he's thrilling a lot of fans as he's glued to the rear bumper of the youngster, Matt Hirschman.
You know, a lot of drivers get their start at a young age in go-karts and quarter midgets. That wasn't the case for Matt Hirschman because he was following his father around, watching him race. So mostly all his experience has been in a modified. And, of course, he's the defending Race of Champions winner last year. And right now he is holding his own against Tony Ferrani. And also lurking in the neighborhood is Ronnie Silk. Little trouble for Jake Moroz as he has swallowed some speed bumps and he is drifting off the pace.
Yeah, but everybody is able to make it up and around Jake as they work their way back off of 4. That's a major step to go from virtually no racing experience right into a modified race car. I mean, that is like trying to step across the Grand Canyon. And yet he has done it, and he has done it quite nicely. And you just watch this talent, young Matt Hirschman, off of turn number 4 as he's leading here this afternoon. A lot to be said, and obviously we'll hear an awful lot more from this young fellow.
He spent a lot of races here at Thompson Speedway on top of the pit box, spotting for his father. And right now he's in the best spot of all. In the lead, Reggie Ruggiero went downstairs a couple of laps ago to try to get underneath Ron Uhas. The move wasn't working, so he tucked it in back behind the 6 car.
He's tucked in behind Uhas, and right behind him is the 4 car for Broadbrook's Jerry Marquis, and then Mike Stefanik, Eric Beers, and James Savali. The 76, Tommy Bowles, he has been a member of this gang for a long, long time. And in fact, back on August 17th, when they were here, Tommy had one of the best runs he's had in a long time behind the wheel of that number 76 car.
Well, during the Thompson 300 one year, he won the first leg of that when it was split up into 3 100-lap segments. And that was his best run for a while. And then he came along and had that big 4th place finish on August 17th. So the Ellington Express pestering the back bumper of James Savali in car number 28. Savali with 1 victory this year. The action is pretty hot at the front of the field. Matt Hirschman, I wonder if he has the tire management abilities that his father does, because everybody says nobody can have tire conservation more efficiently than Tony Hirschman. I wonder if Matt has the same characteristics.
Well, we'll find out if it's like father, like son. Just to give you an idea of how close the competition is in this event, yesterday afternoon, the fast time was set by Donnie Leah. And after the redraw, Donnie started 9th. Believe it or not, he's back to 12th. That's just how tough the competition is. I mean, we're talking literally hundreds of seconds. In some cases, it's thousands of seconds separate these drivers in time trials.
Well, the Reg is getting a little impatient. Reggie Ruggiero in the red number 41 car, as a couple of times he has tried to take a shot down low against Ron Uhas. Let's see what he plans to do as he comes off the 4th corner. This has been one of Reggie's best seasons in the last 3 or 4 because he's raced a lot more. As a fellow driver, Chris Pastriak, said, the only reason that Reggie Ruggiero hasn't been winning a lot of races is because he's been driving at a part-time basis, but he is still as good now as he was back in the late 80s when he was dominating this series.
When he sat behind the wheel of the Mario Fiore black number 44, he was probably one of the most feared drivers, and for a long time, he virtually owned the New Hampshire International Speedway.
Now, a driver in distress right now, the man who's second in points, Ted Christopher, car number 36. He is approaching the start-finish line right now. He has lost ground since the start of the race, and now Doug Colby in car number 77 is trying to take another position away from Christopher.
Teddy started just about mid-pack and now finds himself sort of pedaling backwards, and you can certainly bet your boots that by the time that they hit pit road with that race car, there will be some serious adjustments made on that. Glad to have Teddy with us. He attempted to qualify for the Nextel Cup race at Richmond, which was run last night, but unfortunately didn't make the cut. And so, guess what? Right back to Thompson Speedway. No such thing as crying in your beer there.
No, he just cries behind the wheel as he'll be in the ROC 00 trying for his first career win in that race. Todd Zegedy, dive bomb move underneath Zach Sylvester. And Zegedy has come to life in car number 2, and he's taking John Blewett with him.
Blewett, who of course dominated the event back in August. Just about a full straightaway off the pace at this point, but don't count him out. That car has always been extremely competitive, and he too knows how to manage not only the race car, but how to manage tires.
I think he's an underrated driver considering all the success that he's had during the years, and he says, when you live in New Jersey, sometimes you fly under the radar screen. And he says that's the reason that he hasn't got a lot of the notoriety that maybe he deserves for the kind of record that he has compiled.
Well, he certainly has an impressive record, and he's virtually glued to the rear bumper of a former champ of the division, Todd Zegedy, the number 2 car down the back straightaway, followed by the 66. Those are the 2 that we are talking about. Into turn number 3, Blewett blasts underneath the number 2 car and picks up one more spot as he moves up on the rear bumper now of Donnie Leah's number 18.
So the most aggressive driver on the track at this stage of the race, 33 laps into it, has been John Blewett in car number 66. At the front of the field, the script has remained the same for a while. Hirschman in front, Ferrani in handshaking distance. In second place, Tony Hirschman hasn't budged. Started in 4th and has ran every lap in 4th place. And that's kind of his strategy, is he lets the first half of the race kind of ride by before he starts making his move right after the pit stop.
And those generally come around lap 75 if, in fact, there is a caution around that period. We're at 35 now, which means we are about 40 laps away from that particular mark, but that's the ideal time at the halfway point to change tires. Much beyond 75 laps, the tires on these cars begin to go away, and it becomes like trying to drive your car on ice. And we've got a spin, and it looks like we will have a caution for car number 0, Danny Sammons.
And just before that caution came out, Jerry Marquis was all over the back bumper of the Reggie Ruggiero car, so he'll have to put that maneuver on hold.
Yep.
So he starts the day 16th in the standings, and an 8th place finish in the opener here at Thompson. Not bad. Let's see what happens on the restart if Matt Hirschman continues to get that launch. And it looks like once again, Matt Hirschman has got a great liftoff.
He does. Ferrante is right there. Let's see if Tony is able to put the banking to his advantage. He does not. He's able to pull up alongside, but it looks like Matt Hirschman is going to reassume that number 1 spot. But look at Mike Stefanik.
Ronnie Silk is off the pace, limping around in turn 3. So he was 3rd when the restart took place. Stefanik has a power surge, trying to take 3rd away from Tony Hirschman.
Look to the inside, can't make the move. He now tucks back into the 4th position after being almost persona non grata for the first 35 or so laps. The 66 car, Blewett, also on a roll as he has now managed to move deep inside the top 10. Keep an eye on both of those race cars. And the 28, James Savali, has also taken full advantage of that restart to pick up a couple of spots. Reggie Ruggiero fighting off the hard-charging Mike Stefanik, cannot do it. James Savali is in his rearview mirror.
And Savali, a little wild ride down the front straightaway, was able to keep things under control. John Blewett started 23rd. Now he wants to move into 6th and does, making it look easy.
Boy, does he ever. He just took that car deep right to the bottom of the racetrack, pulls in on the rear bumper of the Reg. So it is Matt Hirschman out front. Tony Ferrante runs next. Then it's Matt Hirschman, Tony Ferrante, and then Tony Hirschman.
Blewett going to work on Reggie Ruggiero. That's a battle for 5th place. He is trying to squeeze his way underneath the 41 car. John Blewett is on a crusade in car number 66.
He's testing the waters, and I'll tell you, he finds them to his liking. He is up into position 5.
Now he's going to try to take Stefanik on the outside. Makes that slingshot move underneath him, but Stefanik was ready for it.
Rearview mirror of the number 16 just filled with John Blewett's red, white, and blue number 66 car. And we've got a spin. It is Juhas as he goes around coming off of turn 2. Everybody scrambles, but it looks like no damage is done. Juhas is able to refire immediately, but not before the yellow flag comes out.
Well, I'd have to say, and everybody comes in, but the leader didn't come in. He stayed out, so I agree with you. I'm surprised at how many cars that actually came in.
All right, looks like we're ready to go back to green flag racing, and once again, Hirschman will outduel Mike Stefanik into turn number 1.
Boy, he looks like he's fired from a grenade launcher, but here comes Stefanik on the outside like we've seen many times before, and Blewett is trying to follow his example.
Blewett gets a little assistance into turn number 3 from Savale as they come off the turn. It is Stefanik out in front. Blewett holds on for the 2nd spot. Hirschman beginning to fade just a little bit. Savale to the outside. He takes over the 3rd spot. Hirschman is in 4th, but that is not going to last long as Jerry Marquis pulls right up alongside to challenge.
So when Hirschman could not clear Stefanik, that meant that he was hung out to dry on the bottom groove. Marquis is able to get by, and now Todd Szegedy is going to give it a shot. But Stefanik has opened up a pretty cozy lead over John Blewett on lap number 54. The best battle, Matt Hirschman trying to fight back against Todd Szegedy. So the rookie going against a 2003 champion, and Hirschman still keeping the schnoz of that car ahead of Todd Szegedy. The question is, how much longer will he be able to do that?
Field comes off of turn number 4. It's Stefanik by 2 car lengths down to the stripe. Blewett in 2nd, followed by Savale and Marquis. And then that race for the 5th position, Szegedy looked to the inside, made the pass on Matt Hirschman for the 5th spot.
Now remember, guys like Tony Ferrani and Reggie Ruggiero and Hosfeld all have fresh tires. Donnie Lea does, as he makes a bold move to the bottom of the track in car number 18. 3 wide, coming down the front straightaway. Goodale, Houlihan, and Lea is able to win that confrontation. Things got very exciting down the front stretch.
Yeah, Lea stuck in the middle there for a second, but made the most of it, gained 2 spots into turn number 1, but still deep in the field for yesterday's Bud Pole winner, car number 18, as they go back to turn number 2, and it's Stefanik by 2 car lengths over Blewett. Silk now behind the wall officially.
Ken Berry having a good run in car number 21. Had his best overall finish ever, 2nd place earlier this year. And Ted Christopher has benefited by cars coming down pit road, and he is a top 10 car.
In the top 10, car number 36, just ahead of Zach Sylvester in the 15. Eddie Flemke in the 10. Flemke has been on pit road already this afternoon. Looks to the inside of Sylvester for the position.
Eddie Flemke, a great thinker out there, comes up with his strategy on the run, and right now he is giving Zach Sylvester a run for the number 10 position. Right behind him, Ricky Fuller. Now Flemke makes that swoop move as he has the thickest vapor trail getting underneath Zach Sylvester.
Battle for the lead, tightening up just a bit, Matt, to the back straightaway, just shy of halfway here. Stefanik out front, but Blewett is closing in, down to within about a car length and a half, and he has brought Savale and Jerry Marquis right along with him. We could have a 4-car race for the lead here, just another lap or so.
Did not qualify well, John Blewett, and the reason for that, he had to replace 3 shocks as soon as he got to Thompson Speedway yesterday. But apparently what they did after qualifying has worked wonders, as he is tormenting the back bumper of the Mike Stefanik car.
Stefanik took the lead 10 laps to go under the last caution flag when everybody else actually got it on the restart, and has led ever since. Blewett looking to become the 3rd different leader of this event. Savale, the rookie competitor, in 3rd, Marquis 4th, then Todd Szegedy trying to close in. He is in 5th, car number 2.
He was finally able to pull away from Matt Hirschman. So let's check out some of the guys who have made tire changes. Doug Colby getting underneath Anthony Cecily and trying to make the same move is the blue 3 of Eric Beers. And he is aggressive as he stomps his way underneath the 11 car, and he just can't quite find the room to squeeze underneath Cecily.
Those cars on pit road back on lap 49. 1 car not making a lot of headway. The 48, Tony Hirschman, and the 31, Tony Ferrante, stuck in traffic and still almost now tire straightaway, if not more, behind the race leaders off turn 4 and out of the top 20.
Usually Tony Hirschman waits till the last possible lap to make the tire change. That wasn't the strategy today, and he says sometimes you get a bad set of tires, that they're not matched up that well on the second set of tires. It happens in Nextel Cup, and sometimes it happens on the Whelen Tour.
Tony Hirschman stuck deep in the field right now, looking to the inside of Tony Ferrante. Chuck Hosfeld, that car has not been handling all weekend long. Car number 79 had to take a provisional, and still very deep in the field with Donnie Leah and Reggie Ruggiero. So a lot of the big guns deep in the pack, but still a long way to go.
Well, the big gun Reggie Ruggiero trying to fire a bullet against Donnie Leah, and Leah able to hold him off on the outside. But here comes Reg again, and here comes John Blewett with a battle for the lead.
Had a good run off turn 2, and he will capitalize maybe off of turn number 4. They are locked side by side. Stefanik to the outside, Blewett down low, and Stefanik will hang on to the top spot.
And now Blewett has to worry about James Savali, who has closed up the gap, and he is starting to pester him in car number 28. Marquis also on the move, but Stefanik continues to be the ringleader of the circus.
And as they race for position among the top 4, Todd Zegedy, he's closing in the 5th spot to make that potential 5-car battle for the lead here in a little bit. Hirschman is there in 6th. Everybody single file. Trouble over in turn number 1. Hosfeld will go for a spin. Donnie Leah just avoiding it. Car number 18 having to go high, and that'll put us under the caution for the 4th time.
And it's almost at the halfway point of the race, lap 71, who have not changed tires yet.
Zach Sylvester and Eddie Flemke were back in on lap 39. Everybody else either on lap 49 or just a moment ago on lap 73. Restart and the halfway signal this time by as we're back underway after the 4th caution, and it's Matt Hirschman leading them back to turn 1.
Up to his old tricks on the restarts, but this time he's going to be followed by Eddie Flemke in car number 10. Bowles goes around, and hitting the wall is Tony Hirschman.
Hirschman goes around. Jimmy Blewett's involved, car number 12. That car slow on the back stretch.
We saw the 76 of Bowles was the first car to jolt out of position, and then the 5-time champion got caught up in the fracas. Down, so it is not going to be very beneficial today to his championship chances as we get ready for a restart. And so far, this is when Matt Hirschman has done his best work on these restarts. He's starting on the inside against Eddie Flemke, and once again, Matt Hirschman is able to explode into turn 1.
And Flemke quickly gets into line in 2nd. Everybody from 3rd on back still stacked up. Here's Beers to the inside of Flemke for the runner-up spot. Sylvester's 4th, McKennedy and Ferrante side by side for 5th.
And Beers doing a good job trying to bury his way underneath Flemke. An aggressive move on the outside by Ferrante as he tries to get around John McKennedy. Best battle is for 2nd between Beers and Flemke.
All this behind race leader Matt Hirschman down the back straightaway. Side by side into the corner. Beers gets out of shape. Got the 10 car out of shape momentarily. Everybody maintains their position. Flemke in 2nd, Beers in 3rd.
And the best part about it, they did not stack up the field. Intense racing in the middle of the pack between Leah and car number 18 as he tries to dive bomb to the outside of Dick Houlihan. Here comes Ken Berry on the move in car number 21. And Tommy Bowles has made a pretty good recovery as he is plastered on the back bumper of the Ken Berry car.
And Bowles involved in the last accident a couple of laps ago is trying to make his way back up through the field. Stefanik also out of shape on the front stretch a half a lap ago. He's okay, trying to recover onto the back stretch.
Look at John Blewett go in car number 66. Remember, he changed tires on lap number 71. And he has moved into the upper tier of cars, trying to get past Tommy Bowles. Let's see what strategy Blewett uses.
He's been strong all afternoon for John Blewett III, and a close call a moment ago, racing for 2nd again between Eddie Flemke and Eric Beers. Zach Sylvester joins that pack now along with Tony Ferrante.
Berry nearly got underneath Donnie Leah in car number 21. Berry has momentum. Here comes Blewett. As he dive bombs underneath the 76 car and a new leader, Eddie Flemke.
Flemke goes to the head of the class off turn 4, but for how long can he hang on to it at the start-finish line? The answer is yes. And Eddie Flemke leads lap number 88.
Almost a retaliation immediately by Matt Hirschman. Eric Burrs in 3rd, looking strong. So Eddie Flemke has the lead on lap number 88.
Sylvester in 4th. Ferrante still in 5th. Top 5 now joined by Reggie Ruggiero. He's been quiet all afternoon thus far. He joins the lead group in turn number 2 in car 41.
3 wide momentarily. Bowles on the outside, Blewett in the middle. McKennedy and Leah also involved.
Trouble behind him. 2 cars go spinning. James Savali and Anthony Sesley. Caution is out for the 6th time.
And you could sniff that out. There was so much intense racing in front of them that the shuffle hit the 11 and the 6 car in lap number 90, another gold. Chance to win the race. He's going to need to be the lucky dog a couple of times.
I think he realized we were going green this time by. We're back under the green flag. Flemke leads him back to turn number 1, side by side for second. Beers to the inside of Matt Hirschman for the 2nd spot. Ferrante and Sylvester stacked up for 4th.
Remember Matt Hirschman with the oldest tires, and right now he's having a very difficult time holding off Eddie Flemke, as Flemke holding off Eric Beers, and Beers is going to disco his way into 2nd.
They're side by side from 2nd on back. Car out of shape, the 08. They're okay. Everybody stacked up momentarily, but we'll stay under the green flag. Steve Witt, the 06 car rather.
He lunged backwards but was able to keep it under control. Donnie Leah, a little tap between the 06 and the 18. And Leah is able to beat him into turn 2, but not for long as Witt answers back. Matt Hirschman, maybe the rumors of the demise of his tires came a little prematurely because he has moved back into contention against Eric Beers.
That is a very tight lead pack as they go back to turn number 1. Eddie Flemke has the top spot. Beers and Hirschman side by side for 2nd. Ferrante is there. Sylvester, Reggie Ruggiero, Ken Berry, John Blewett the 3rd, Tommy Bowles all in the lead group as they come back off turn number 4.
What a hectic pace at the front of the field as Eddie Flemke is surrounded by the enemy. Down low, Flemke up high, or down low is Beers, up high is Hirschman. Tony Ferrante having one of the best runs of his Thompson career, hanging out in 4th place. And Sylvester also involved on the outside. So at this stage of the race, with 52 laps to go, any one of 15 cars can win it.
Ferrante, limited schedule this season. Will run.
Only his 3rd race.
Yep. Loves coming to the Thompson Speedway. It's his favorite racetrack. He has been so close so many times here at Thompson. He's among the top 5 now, approaching the final third of this event as we race back to turn 1. Still behind car number 10, Eddie Flemke, but there's about a dozen cars behind him wanting a taste of the race lead.
Maybe this will be the time that Eric Beers can finally put away Matt Hirschman. He's going after the lead in turn 4.
Side by side for the top spot. Off turn 4, down the line, and at the stripe, it's still Flemke, but not by much. By a sliver maybe as they go to turn number 2. Still side by side, nearly 3 wide at the point to the backstretch.
And 2 pals going at it for 2nd place, Eddie Flemke and Tony Ferrante. Reggie Ruggiero moves in car number 41. So what a move by Eric Beers to go from 3rd to 1st. He finally shook loose from Hirschman, and while he was at it, he took on Flemke and won that battle.
Absolutely spectacular racing at the front of the field for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and it's Eric Beers now at the point. Flemke in 2nd, side by side now for 3rd. Ferrante to the inside of Matt Hirschman, and here comes John Blewett the 3rd in car number 66.
We expected that he would move up to the front. He is taking the 21 of Berry with him. Now Stefanik is caught behind the 21 of Berry and the 15 of Sylvester. Trying to thread the needle. Blewett not finding much room, and Eric Beers is able to open up a cozy lead.
Yeah, largest lead we have seen since the last restart.
Blewett in trouble. He's able to correct it, but he loses a spot to Ken Berry.
Zegedy goes around off turn 2, a solo spin down the backstretch. And he's refired the car. Will stay under the green flag as they go back to turn 1. It's Beers out front, Flemke in 2nd. Where'd Reggie Ruggiero come from? He's racing for the 3rd spot with Matt Hirschman.
And he has fresher tires than Hirschman does. Let's see if it makes a difference as he streaks his way into the 4th corner. And the blur is a 41 car of Reggie Ruggiero moving into the top 3.
Could not compete here at the Thompson Speedway back in April due to mechanical failure in practice. Looking to rebound here at Thompson, running 3rd after a great day of qualifying yesterday for the Reg. He's third and gaining on second place, Eddie Flemke.
Reg, 55 years old, going on 26, because that's the way he has competed this year, opening up a little breathing room between himself and the fourth place car of Matt Hirschman. And now Eric Beers starting to dominate this race. And I can never remember, of all the Whelen Modified races we've seen, Kyle, so many cars that were up at the front setting such a hectic pace so late in the race.
Really beginning to dice it up here. Stefanik still coming to the front. Also Jerry Marquis back there in car number 4 looking to join the lead battle, but right now it is all Eric Beers. He has had in the last 2 years here at Thompson such bad luck. Has got in an incident to start the year last year off turn 4, set him back a week, and the last time out really got in the wall in turn number 3 a ton. It has not been his speedway in recent years. Right now he leads off turn 4. Here's the race for second. Ruggiero to the inside.
Two business partners going at it. Reggie Ruggiero and Eddie Flemke, and they're not at the coffee machine now, as Reggie Ruggiero has just maneuvered his way into second place. So the red dart, number 41, Reggie Ruggiero in second. His best finish this year at Thompson has been third. That was at the Icebreaker. Tony Ferrani trying to, he is almost surgically attached to the back bumper of Matt Hirschman's car. What a run this has been to Ferrani, and he's got another problem. The guy behind him, John Blewett, is pretty aggressive.
And we have talked about John Blewett all afternoon as far as...
That's why, right there.
That car coming to the front, dives down to the bottom of turn 3 and makes the pass. Makes it look easy of Tony Ferrante, so move Blewett now into the 5th position, just behind Matt Hirschman in car number 59.
Down to the final 39 laps with Eric Beers, the maestro of the orchestra, trying to get around Rene Dupuis. It's not very easy, and he finally finds some room on the outside and is able to blister his way from the 90 car.
So Beers has that lap car now between himself and Reggie Ruggiero in second, but let's see how much that affects Reggie. It looked like he was beginning to close in until he got behind Rene there a moment ago. He'll make the pass here on the front stretch and go to work on trying to reel in the race leader, Eric Beers. Reggie's been able to break away from third place, Eddie Flemke.
This is the way it used to be at Thompson in the 80s and the 90s. Reggie Ruggiero, and now he's breathing down the tailpipe of Eric Beers in car number 3. Let's see what's happening further back, as Mike Stefanik has kind of hit a comfort zone behind Zach Sylvester, and he is under attack from Jerry Marquis.
Oh, trouble. One car will spin.
Steve Witt in turn 2, bringing out another gold.
He was in that pack of traffic you were talking about, just behind Mike Stefanik and Jerry Marquis. So the solo spin for Steve Witt puts us under the caution flag here on lap number 115. Pace car is in off turn 4. Eric Beers leads them down to the stripe. Reggie Ruggiero right there within a car length as they go to turn 1.
Ruggiero lurking on the outside, and Eric Beers is able to open up a little bit of a margin. Eddie Flemke in third. Here comes Blewett with the aggressive Knievel daredevil move against Matt Hirschman.
As has been the case all afternoon for Blewett, the only car able to stick on that inside lane and make it work. He is side by side with Matt Hirschman. That is for the 4th position.
Boy, Matt Hirschman is a pretty stubborn driver. He does not give up positions very easily, as Jimmy Blewett just limping around on the bottom of the racetrack. And it was a good try by Blewett, but Matt Hirschman, with tires that have 120 laps of wear on them, he was able to hold them off.
In that 4th spot, so John Blewett having to settle into line in 5th. How about that 5-car battle for 7th? Stefanik is there. Barry, Marquis, Sylvester, and Doug Kobe in the 77.
That's where a lot of the fracases have occurred, and Stefanik getting the upper hand there over Marquis. Great afternoon for Ken Berry, as he has been among the upper echelon of cars all day. Marquis taking a shot against him down low, and it looks like Marquis will be able to snip his way ahead of Ken Berry.
Berry in that outside lane, car number 21. Marquis gets the spot, and here comes Doug Kobe to follow suit.
Reggie Ruggiero almost closed in on Eric Beers in the corner. So Ruggiero doing a lot of good work between turns 1 and 2 and between turns 3 and 4. And that might be where he'll be able to make his move against Eric Beers.
Gotta wonder if Reggie Ruggiero is saving anything. Still 27 laps left.
That's not been his MO in his career. He usually gives it all he has every lap as he continues to shadow the 3 of Eric Byrne, as he is all over him like, or Eric Beers, as he is all over him like a sunblock in that number 41 car.
Yeah, Reggie has dropped back 2-3 car lengths and then gains, like you mentioned a moment ago, through turns 1 and 2, and then again through turns 3 and 4, really getting through the corner well for Reggie Ruggiero as he continues to ride in second. Lemke in third, and very out of shape off turn 4, came into contact with Zach Sylvester, battling just inside of the top 10.
Let me have a question for you, Kyle. Are you sure Matt Hirschman is a rookie? Because he has done an outstanding job. Instead of a rookie, I almost think he's a member of AARP because he's done a great job. Here comes Blewett making another move.
And keep in mind, Hirschman slip-sliding around out there on tires that are 126 laps old, where just about everybody else on the racetrack has new sneakers, so to speak, since lap number 73.
And that's why Blewett was able to sneak around the 59 car and finally move into 4th place. It took him a long time to get by Matt Hirschman.
Back at the front of the field, it is Eric Beers leading the way down the back straightaway. Reggie Ruggiero still within striking distance, within a car length and a half, maybe 2 lengths here on the straightaways. Flemke fading to John Blewett the third. Car number 66 right there and ready to go to work on the 3rd place car of Flemke.
So it won't be too much longer before Blewett pays a visit to Flemke. And meanwhile, at the front of the field, in the corners, that's where Ruggiero is the fastest, and Eric Beers is doing his best work on the straightaways.
Here's the race for third, side by side on the front stretch. Flemke up high, Blewett down low. Move John Blewett the third to the 3rd position. Flemke shuffled back to 4th. Matt Hirschman still riding in 5th.
But Blewett almost a half a straightaway behind our co-leaders, Beers and Ruggiero. Does Blewett have enough time to corral our top 2? We know he has one of the fastest cars on the speedway, the brightest blip on the radar screen. But does he have enough laps? We're down to the final 19 when they hit the stripe.
19 laps to go when they get to the line for Eric Beers. Ruggiero in second. Top 2 breaking away deeper in the pack. The race continues outside of the top 5 is Stefanik, Marquis, and Kobe in a heated battle from 7th on back. And here's Marquis to the inside of Stefanik, side by side through the corner, just behind Tony Ferrante's 31. Still side by side, nerve bar to nerve bar, that is for 7th. Trouble, Jimmy Blewett around along with Tommy Bowles in turn number 4. Blewett just coming out of the pit area as he was behind the wall for many laps. Came out from behind the wall about 10 laps ago for Jimmy Blewett.
Old tires, you could almost, they're almost antiques on that car. That's how old they are, and he's been hanging out in 5th place. Here we go to determine the winner of the 150-lap Whelen feature.
Reggie Ruggiero right on the back bumper of Eric Beers. Down into turn number 2. It's Beers by a car length. Ruggiero in second. Blewett there in third. They break away a little bit from 4th place Eddie Flemke.
So Ruggiero, once again, making a power move in the corners to keep in contact with Eric Beers. And he has another problem. Not only is Eric Beers is concerned, but also the man behind him, John Blewett, who tries to pry his way underneath him.
Blewett had a look to the inside and a good run off of turn number 2, but had to fall back in a line behind Reggie Ruggiero. Top 3 racing for the win here this afternoon with 11 laps to go.
A little bit of twitch by Blewett coming off the 4th corner. That's how intense these guys are going at it. Beers is able to open up his lead once again on the back chute.
Stefanik still side by side with Jerry Marquis just into the top 10, and a great 5-car battle with Tony Ferrante, Doug Kobe, Zach Sylvester with 10 laps to go.
Stefanik going for a championship. Every spot matters. He's trying to pick one up against Jerry Marquis.
Second, 3rd place in the championship standings have struggled here this afternoon. Christopher 3 laps down. Hirschman out of the race. Wide open for Mike Stefanik to gain points here this afternoon. Try and claim that 7th title in the Modified Tour.
Right now, the number one thing on his mind is to try to keep that car into one piece for the final 8.5 laps. Beers widening his lead, but here comes Ruggiero between turns 3 and 4. He is able to erase that deficit, but then Beers gets it revved up again on the long straightaways and the back chute.
And Beers really opening it up on the straightaways while Reggie closes when he can in the turns. Also trying to fend off Blewett for that second spot. Flemke still riding fourth.
Boy, it's been a long time since the icebreaker of 2005 when Eric Beers was involved in such a severe accident. He had to take some time off from the sport. Right now, the man who puts up siding for a living, does the work during the winter so he can race during the summer, is getting the upper hand against Reggie Ruggiero.
Lady Luck has not been with him recently here at Thompson for Eric Beers, and almost bit Mike Stefanik there off turn 4. Had the 16 car sideways here on the front straightaway, but was able to hang on to it.
Boy, he is racing bold, isn't he? On the edge as he approaches Hirschman. Marquis drifts up high, and that gives Stefanik some room to operate with.
Back at the point, within the final 5 laps, it's Beers by 3 car lengths over Reggie Ruggiero, who's been able to break away a bit from John Blewett III in that third spot. Ruggiero closing in, but is it enough with 4 laps to go?
Eric Beers in that old blue, number 3. Reggie Ruggiero in car number 41 continue to light the sparks. Trouble for Donnie Leah in turn 2. He is off the pace. Will we stay under green?
He was in that battle for position just outside of the top 10. Lee is okay. Will stay under the green flag. 3 laps to go as they go to turn 1, and it's Eric Beers at the point, ahead of Reggie Ruggiero in second.
And keeping a perfect line in the corners. Able to open up a little bit of daylight between himself and the Reg. So Reggie Ruggiero has done many amazing things in his career. This would have to be at the top of the list if he can figure out a way to barnstorm his way past Eric Beers. Looked like he almost got a little closer coming off turn 2.
He was there down in turn number 1, right on the back bumper. Time running out. White flag off of turn number 4 in the win. 1 lap to go for Eric Beers in turn 1.
The toughest lap in motorsports as he is trying to put the finishing touches on a win. Continues to stretch out his advantage over Ruggiero. He is 1 turn away. Here comes Eric Beers in that number 3, made famous by Len Bowler, to win the Whelen 150. Ruggiero in second, John Blewett in third. Eric Beers had to hold off one of the best modified drivers of all time to grab his first win at the Thompson International Speedway.
At a track in which has been not so kind to Eric Beers in recent years.
He's going by that trouble area right now. Turn number 4, where he hit the wall so hard, they said the wall was actually shaking as he separated his shoulder on that occasion. But today, the only thing he separated was himself from the rest of the field.
Came back late last year. Similar incident in turn 2 back in August. Went around, got the outside wall in turn 3. Today he visits Victory Lane here at Thompson International Speedway. Eric Beers holds off Reggie Ruggiero. John Blewett III, Eddie Flemke, and Tony Ferrante gets an unofficial top 5 in car number 31.
So a pretty good warm-up for Eric Beers, as we're going to see him in a few minutes in the ROC race. But right now, Eric Beers in one of the most intense modified races we've ever seen here, Kyle. So many guys were racing so hard and had chances for the lead, as he is congratulated by John Holland of New England Race Fuels and the members of the Tony Hirschman team shaking his hand. And, of course, the Bowler team is there, and what a moment.
ROC Modifieds are next. They will be the final event of the afternoon. But first, let's go to Victory Lane and wrap this one up. Here from our race winner, Eric Beers. He's with Rust Out.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much. And I'll say Eric Beers is having the time of his life. If the word ecstatic ever applied to Victory Lane, it applies here today. Old Blue, it has been a long time since this car has sat in Victory Lane, and yet Mike Bowler is here, all smiles. Eric Beers is out of the race car, Eric, congratulations. You've brought Old Blue back home.
Well, after the last couple of months we had, man, we were deserving a win here, and this is the short track car from a couple of years we've been racing it, and wow, these guys worked their tails off to get this thing. I mean, we were one of the slowest cars on practice on Saturday. I don't even know what day of the week it is now. I mean, they just worked hard. We got a good time trial run. Great pit stop by the guys, got us out first out of all the guys that pitted, and it just stayed the same way the whole race. I mean, I got a little worried when Reggie was behind me because he's fast, and I figured if I could keep a car length or two, in front of him, he won't be able to get us. So it was awesome.
Reggie could close in 3 and 4, but as you came off the corners, you just pull away from it and open up probably about a 2-car length advantage. So that must have made you feel pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Michael was telling me what I had, but I just glanced up in the mirror because sometimes he'll tell me I got 2 car lengths when it's only like a half of one. So I just glance up every straightaway, and I'm just like, hit my marks, and we'll get this one in the bag.
Well, I'll tell you what, you hit your marks right square on the head, and on behalf of all the folks at Sunoco, we'd like to have John Holland step in. Bill Carl also from Sunoco to make the presentation. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the Sunoco Modified Mania 150 for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, Eric Beers. This celebration obviously is going to go on for some time. We're going to take and step down trackside and have a word with our second place finisher, Reggie Ruggiero, and then we'll be talking with John Blewett as well. Reggie's standing here looking the race car over. Reggie, congratulations! I'll tell you, it looked like Reggie of old.
Yeah, the car was really super. This weekend we had a good time trial, qualified third, and in the race right at the beginning it was a little too loose. We pitted early. The car was super, just a little bit too tight actually after that, and I could catch the 3 getting in, but I couldn't turn in the middle to get them off. But in all, it was a good weekend for us. Last week we went all the way to Martinsville and got wrecked in the 3rd caution there, and there was a 30-car pileup. I happened to put a hole in the radiator, and this is the same race car, and just happy to come back. Get a second, and we got a brand new car ready to go for New Hampshire. We'll be in good shape.
All right, the last time you were here was 3rd, second this time. The World Series is just around the corner, Reg.
I guess it's coming.
We wish you the very best. Reggie Ruggiero, congratulations. Great to see you back here in the top 3 at the Thompson International Speedway. Where did John go? Here he is. John Blewett III, welcome to the top 3. I'll tell you, it was a long afternoon, but boy, you had a car that was really hooked up.
Yeah, we had a good car. I really thought we could have won that race the last time we were here on Thursday night, and it just slipped away from us there in the backstretch. But today, the guys showed me an awesome car, great pit stop. I got the 3rd there, and I had to settle. I got to run this car at Loudon next Friday, and I got a lot of work to do just to be ready. I can't be fixing a wreck race car, but the guys did a great job today, and congratulations to Michael Bowler, his whole team, and Dick Barney and Robert Barney. They did a great job.
Well, John, I'll tell you, you came through the pack. It looked like you were really on a roll, and then you got into the 3rd position, and it looked like that was just about as much as you had, or were you, in fact, trying to conserve the car?
Well, I don't think we were better than Eric, but we might have been a little better than Reggie, but I would have had to kill myself to get around him. Like I said, I got to race this car next week, and I'm the only one there to fix it. So, sometimes you have to settle, but like I said, the guys did a great job.
Bring it home with all 4 wheels on it. That's number 1. John Blewett III, who finishes 3rd here today in the Sunoco Modified Mania 150 for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. I'll tell you, there is a lot of excitement in Victory Lane. Mike Buller obviously basking in the win. Michael, for just a second, if we can, brought back an awful lot of memories. Seeing Old Blue out front and to see the car back in Victory Lane certainly has to be special for you and the family.
Yeah, it's been a lot of years at Thompson Speedway for sure. My dad started here, I think, about 59 and 60 when he won the World Series here, when he ventured out from like Seekonk and Norwood. And yeah, a lot of memories bringing Old Blue back here. And the year we've had is just unbelievable. To bounce back and get Eric up front and get the win is awesome for the whole team. They never give up, and everybody keeps on working as hard as they can, and this is great.
Well, Mike, it was a great afternoon for you, for the whole team, and our hearty congratulations, not only from all of us, but from the folks at Sunoco as well.
Thank you. I want to thank all our sponsors, especially Reynolds Auto Wrecking, Cape Cod Copper, Roby's Propane, Waldo's with us for a few years now. Big John, who couldn't make it, and everybody on board, Performance Technology, Great Motors, and all the fans for coming out. It's a great day, and the sun keeps shining. We love it.
Mike Buller, ladies and gentlemen, proud owner of Old Blue here at the Thompson International Speedway, as a brand new tradition for this race car, this famous racing family, has begun here today.